to my channel. My name is Brianna, and I wanted to go over my April TBR. Now, I do not read that many books a month. I just honestly don't have the time, and for various reasons, so I don't read a lot. So I only chose 5, and I am hoping that I get through these 5. But 2 of them are kind of labor intensive, and there's also one that I'm going to be reading ongoing until I'm just done. So that's not a specific month to be done because it's pretty big. So first book is called Infectious Madness by Harriet A. Washington, and this is the second book that I'm reading of her. When I was working towards my PhD, my research was the maternal mortality rates among Black women, and Harriet A. Washington wrote the book Killing the Black Body. So that was one of the books that I chose to read to go towards my research. And this is another book by her, Infectious Madness, and it deals with mental illness, mental health issues, and the research that has been conducted to relate most or specific mental illnesses back to an infection at some point in their lives. So I find that very, very interesting because, for one, there is mental illness in my family. I personally deal with issues, my sister, and then other family members. So books like this are very interesting to me. So I want to see the research that ties everything together. So Infectious Madness is on my April TBR. The second book on my April TBR is Jackal, and this is the first novel by Aaron Adams. And honestly, I just started reading this book, and I am loving the way she describes everything. And it's almost as if you can easily put yourself in the main character's shoes. But then there are these like creepy moments where you're like, what is going on? So I'm actually excited to finish this book so I can know what happened and bring it all together and make it make sense in my own head. So Jackal is the second book on my April TBR. Now, this is where my reading is going to slow, because when I read history, I read with intention, and I read and I reread and I highlight and I asterisk and everything. So the third book on my TBR is Yemen in Crisis, and it is just so I can be able to have informed discussions with people about world events. That is why whenever I'm interested in a topic, I go find a book about it. I do not have the best eyesight, so I know you can Google a lot of information and what have you, but I don't like staring at a laptop screen for very long, so I will go and buy a history book. So this is, if my reading is gonna slow this month, it'll be when I get to this book right here, Yemen in Crisis. The fourth book on my April TBR is Manner of Death by Robin Cook. Robin Cook is my favorite author. I have been reading his books since I was in the 7th grade. The first book I bought was Invasion by him, and I've been reading him ever since. he would be, I guess, what you would call my auto-buy author, because I want to say he's my comfort author, because I know if I ever want like a good story, you know, great medical knowledge where I can feel like a little nerdy while I'm trying to solve a murder mystery, it's Robin Cook. And the 5th book on my April TBR is My Sister, the Serial Killer. And the title got me. The title got me because I love watching Snapped and true crime and all of that. So I'm excited to and curious to just see how it's written. Excuse me. So my 5th book, My Sister, the Serial Killer. And when I tell you, like, there's no specific date for the last book, it's because it's this one, The Stand by Stephen King. It is almost 1,200 pages. This is going to be the biggest book that I've ever read, I believe. Close second might be some textbooks, but on my own, probably the biggest book I've ever read. So this one's just ongoing until it's finished. I'm going to be reading it concurrently with whatever it is I'm reading at the time. So this is the book that my mom had when I was in high school, and I love the story. You know, I read the jacket, and I was like, oh, this will be a good book to read, but I was so intimidated by the number of pages that, you know, I would start and then like stop. So we're gonna try to tackle this one as well. So this one, while I've been holding this one grape for a very long time, so we're gonna put that down. But this one, and then these are my TBR. So I'll be back at the end of April to see how I did. Wish me luck, because I really want to get some of these 51 books down. I am hoping I'm more than halfway through my TBR by the time June comes. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.